Concentration moon over the camp in the valley. Concentration moon. Wish I was back in the alley with all of my friends still running free. Hair growing out every hole in me. Yes, let's concentrate on the moon, the place where nobody has gone and nobody will ever go because nobody ever could go to the moon. The moon. Why is it the same size as the sun? Oh, it's just a coincidence. We're very lucky to be living at the time when the sun and the moon appear to be the same size. Okay. Because we're lucky because they appear to be the same size, but that's because the moon is moving away, I think it's 8 centimeters per year. Yet, now then, it wasn't that long ago when it was supposedly the biggest moon that we've ever seen. Now, how does that work? And it only appears to be big because of the atmospheric lensing. And as far as I know, nobody's ever filmed a moon rise. It just suddenly appears. So the moon and the sun are the same size. Now the moon, they account for this by saying the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and the sun is 400 times further away. But just nature doesn't do things like that. It doesn't. Nature, the creator, whatever you like. No, I won't say God. You say God if you like. But a good way to embarrass a Christian is ask them if other religions, such as Islam, worship the same God. If there's only one God, they must be worshipping the same God. In their case, Allah. And then, oh no, some Christians will say, oh no, they must worship a different God. All right, a different God, okay. And I have met some pretty bigoted Christians, may I say. Not very nice people, really. Don't they know the story of the Good Samaritan? I was brought up a Christian. I don't consider myself one now. I was christened. So, before I had a choice to say no, thank you. And I'm nothing against Christians or Muslims or Jews or any religion, any religious people. Sorry, I have much to say about religion on the whole. It's not a good thing. It's an indoctrination. It's a mind virus. It leads you down the wrong path. It's all very well to say, love your fellow man. That's a given. That's obvious. You've got to get along with people. But you don't have to learn about it through organized religion. It seems so obvious, so common sense, such common sense that it doesn't need really a man in a dress and a funny hat to tell you such things. Plus, the Ten Commandments. Well, the Ten Commandments, yeah, I mean, that's obvious as well. It's sensible. It's apart from I think there's a couple that are a little bit dated now, but by and large, yeah. I mean, it's really good advice for people getting along. However, if you join the army and you are still you still apparently worship, you know, the army will have religious ceremonies, yet it's all right. We have now made it okay to break the Ten Commandments. We've made it legitimate. We say, well, you know, in these circumstances we'll have to kill. And how can that ever be right? Capital punishment, in my opinion, isn't right. And killing people without trial is certainly not right. And killing people isn't right anyway, but so religion, no thank you. Yet this realm that we're on, where we live, there's no way that was an accident of nature. No. I may have said this before, but a professor of evolution, he studied evolution, got a PhD, so he's a doctor, and then he became a professor, and he realized it's all nonsense, and he said that it's more likely for a hurricane to blow through a scrapyard and in the aftermath leave a fully fueled 747 that's full of passengers and ready to take off on the landing strip on the runway left by the hurricane. That's more likely than, you see, people think, well, a single-celled organism, which apparently was made in a puddle of primordial soup and struck by lightning. There's something very Frankenstein's monster about that, isn't there? Which is, again, just piffle. But apart from using the electric, which is all around us. Anyway, so that single-celled organism is as complex as we are, but there's just more of us. I mean, more cells in our body, but each of our cells is as complicated, as complex rather, as that supposed first cell that was not created. You know, that I'm talking from their point of view, from the evolutionists' point of view. So it wasn't created. It was zapped up, or you know, it just came to be through some miracle. It wasn't the creator's hand. Now the creator also, see, creator, I would probably guess that it was more than one being, living thing that is responsible for this. A much higher intelligence, obviously, and we always say man, don't we? God is a man. Why give him genitals? Why give him, if you're going to give him genitals, why give him a penis? Why not woman? woman is far more likely to give birth to something than men. It's just we've been living in a patriarchal sort of system now for many centuries, and it's only in the recent years, decades really, that women have clawed back their equality, which is a long time coming. And well, one could say that women are less likely to go to war, but then we had Mrs. Thatcher and the Falkland Islands, so don't know where that stands. But was she a woman? Certainly didn't have many of the attributes of women, the women I know. I couldn't imagine any of them with an AK-47 shooting at people. Or maybe just one at one. No, I'm jest. So, the moon. The sun and the moon are the same size. They go round our realm. They go round above us. And they're always above us. They never go underneath us. That is ridiculous. Come on. And not only do they follow the same path and they are the same size, they affect each other. There is an electromagnetic relationship between the sun and the moon, and that's why we get the phases of the moon. But nobody's ever been there. Nobody will ever go there. Why wait 50 years? You know, it's nearly 50 years since the man pretended to go to the moon. And many people say that the only reason that they went to the moon or pretended to go to the moon in the first place was to pretend to take a photograph of the pretend sphere Earth, which of course is nonsense. I mean, the sphere Earth is nonsense, but I think that's pretty good. A pretty good judgment of why they had to endeavour to go. And of course, I don't know whether you've heard that high up NASA person say, when asked why haven't we been back, he says, well, we can't go back to the moon because we haven't got the technology. We haven't got the technology now to go to the moon. Fucking right they haven't. They never did have. And the Saturn V rocket blueprints, that's what he's talking about. They don't know where they are. They've lost them. They've not only lost the Saturn V blueprints, they've actually mislaid all the original footage of the moon landings. They've lost maybe down the back of the sofa the telemetry data. Whoops. And obviously the vacuum chamber in which they tested one spacesuit and nearly killed the poor chap who was in it as his saliva started to boil on his tongue. They had to get him out of there pretty fucking sharpish. Rockets don't work in a vacuum. There's no way they could have taken that photograph, even if they were out there, which they couldn't get out there anyway because it's a closed system. I'm sorry, but it is. You can't get far enough away. I mean, people say, why haven't we taken a big photograph of the flat Earth? You can't get far enough away from the Earth to take a photograph. And it was impossible because of the phases of the moon stroke Earth at the time. They didn't have any windows on the lander. Bullocks